What's up? What's up, folks? I'm here with my host, Los Silva. Kent Clothier here. We're going to talk today about a really, really touchy subject.
We are.
We're going to venture into the unknown here and talk about politics a little bit.
Hate from all sides.
Everybody's going to hate, but we're going to talk about it, right? Because that's what we do.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the election.
So, yeah, the election is coming soon. For the most part, I got to be honest, I don't really like either candidate. I think one's racist asshole, and the other one is literally like 100 years old. I'm worried about both of them having corona, which now, by the time you're watching this, you'll probably see Donald Trump had corona.
Yep.
That's crazy because he was just in the debates talking about how he's never going to get it. Your boy got it. So that was a very interesting turn of events in the past few days.
Yeah, I think that, listen, anytime the elections are coming on, obviously markets act pretty based off of emotion. So if Wall Street believes that, one thing or the other is going to happen, then it will definitely impact Wall Street. But the reality of it is Wall Street doesn't really have significant impact on average people like us, right? What it does do, though, is it creates a lot of angst and anxiety in the people in general, right? I mean, I think this is as bad as I've ever seen it, and I thought it was bad in Trump and Hillary. This is as bad as I've ever seen it. I mean, we just watched the debates the other day, and it was a complete fucking shit show.
I think whoever wins, there is just going to be massive separation of humans.
Like if
don't like each other right now.
Like if you watch that movie, The Social Dilemma. I mean, it's just amplifying and dividing even more and more and more through social media, through the news, through media, through, your friends, your neighbors. God forbid you put up a Trump sign in your yard or you put up a Biden sign in your yard. Clearly, half the people in your neighborhood are going to want to burn your house to the ground on either side. But, kind of keeping it down a narrow path here. Like, I don't give a shit who you vote for. I know you don't give a shit who I don't give a shit who anybody votes for, right? All I do care about is that you vote. And what I would tell you is that be very, very careful of...
Do your own research.
Do your own research, right? And don't do your research from places that just cater to...
other people's Instagram.
Yeah, well, from other people's Instagram, or that from news sources that cater to your, bullshit theories, right? Basically get down in the weeds, see what the other side is saying about the exact same topic, exact same issue. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be... it could be the economy, it could be immigration, it could be climate change, it could be abortion. I don't care what it is. Just understand where people actually stand. Vote in your best interest. What I think people...
Do a lot of focus on voting a lot in where you are too, because it's not just about the presidents.
Yeah.
It is about your sector, your place, your region. All those votings are way more important to you than, honestly, at the end of the day, the president.
Yeah, be educated. The bottom line is this is the way, and this is true in just about anything, but it's certainly true in politics, is that the way you get elected is that you simply go off and create as many sound bites, as much noise as you can, pointing out problems that may not even really be your issue, and then tell everybody who's to blame for it, and then ultimately, make everybody afraid of it, right? That's how you get elected, period. And so those sound bites are just that. They are designed to incite emotion in you and fear in you, and you owe it to yourself to go get educated. You may not have all the facts. There's so much ambiguity and I'll give you a really good example of this. There was a law that recently passed in California, and news sources got a hold of it and talked about that it was this law that was about pedophilia, right?
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
Okay. When the reality of it was, what that law was designed to do is that if you were an 18-year-old man and you had sex with a 16-year-old woman, that you could potentially be charged with, child molestation, pedophilia, the whole thing, right? And that in that law, the way it was currently written, that unless a judge used their discretion, said, this isn't right, and it's not right, and I'm going to use my own best judgment and pass judgment the way I should, with one glaring exception. that if the relationship was between the same sex, then it was 100% mandatory that it had to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. So California goes up. That was the old law. So California just passed an amendment to that law to clean it up, right? And make it where the judge could use their discretion, which clearly is the right thing to do, right? In the world we live in today. Especially California. I mean, the world we live in today, I mean, who am I to judge what you do? But one thing's for sure, if you're in a relationship, you're both in high school, you're 18, she's 16, or you're 18, he's 18 or 17, that you shouldn't go to jail just automatically. You shouldn't be charged as a sex offender automatically, right? There should be some discretion. So in cleaning that all up, the headlines made for this makes pedophilia okay. It was made for really sexy headlines. All these people who didn't do any research got super fired up about it, where if you actually just read it, you'll understand that what was intended to do. Now, no law is perfect, and there are crazy, nuances to every law. But my entire point of that is it takes about 8 more minutes of research to figure that out. And so, politics is tricky. I wouldn't want the job at all. I mean, you look at COVID, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? If you don't react and millions of people die and you're on the watch as the president, you're the biggest dirtbag on the planet. If you do something and shut down the economy, now you killed jobs, right? But did you save a bunch of people's lives by telling them to socially distance and put masks on, right? It's 200,000 plus right now when we're talking about this. Could it have been 2 million, right? You can't win either way, right? So the job sucks. And quite frankly, there's not a politician out there that doesn't have a corporation got his hands up his or her ass. They're just a mouthpiece. So everything about it just legitimately sucks. I think our two-party system with all the corporate money is just a fucking joke.
Yeah, I wish there was more opportunities.
Yeah, for really good people to get in there and do it. But the bottom line is, it is what it is. Democracy is messy. Democracy is sloppy. It's ugly. And you got to be able to go and really do your research to make sure that you're participating fully. To not participate is participation. You are basically completely denying all the men and women over the years that have died for our rights to do this. The very thing that this country was founded on. The people that made the ultimate sacrifice for us to be able to participate in this sloppy democracy and get our voice heard. If you don't vote, you might as well be just flipping them the bird, right? Like, I don't give a shit about you, your family, or anything that ever happened to you. If that's the way you feel, knock yourself out. Otherwise, get your ass in the booth and do what's right. Vote and do the research to understand. Now, how does that impact business overall?
Large. That'll be in another episode.
Well, I'll tell you that in my opinion, it doesn't change much at all.
Well, no, actually, COVID.
I don't think it changes anything. I mean, the reality is if you really get down to it again and do your research, basically, politicians are one party, right? They're more alike than they are different. They get elected by pandering to the fringe, to the lunatic fringe, but 80% of it they're all working for corporate best interest, period,
100%.
right? And so if you just keep your head down and focus on you, your family, your community, and do what's right for you, your business, and all that kind of stuff, you're going to be fine regardless of what happens in the election. Just turn off the noise, turn off the headlines, turn off the dumb shit, go and do a little bit of research, understand what you really are passionate about, and then vote accordingly. That's what you should do. Otherwise, get off of one news source that is just sitting there spoon-feeding you the bullshit that you want to hear and surrounding yourself with the bullshit of people that believe exactly what you believe. Go and have healthy conversations. Go debate people. Go understand the other side of the coin, because if you don't, you're a fucking moron.
If you spend most of your time getting information, let's not lie, on Facebook or Instagram, and the people that are feeding you this information are super left or super right, and they are telling everyone that they do 75 hard, which is this Andy Frisella thing on working out, you should not listen to these people. Anything they say, those people suck. And if that's where you're spending your time trying to get that information, it is a waste of time, because those people are moronic to either sense. They are just committed. They're
pandering.
100%.
They understand an audience. And by the way, it's not just them. The algorithms understand the audience, right?
And
So
they
if
could
you
be
spend
also
time
doing
watching
it-
that, guess what you're going to get more of?
You-
A lot more of that.
They could also be doing it to repel people and attract people to their audience, so they can bring them in because that's, people that think the same way are a great fit for them. So always think that there's always something in the back for that. You just need to do your own information. Doesn't matter if your best friend, your mom, your daughter, your sister, your cousin, well, maybe your daughter, but you know what I mean. Like, it's your vote. You can go vote however you want. To not vote is kind of silly biscuits, I think.
No doubt, brother. That's the way I feel about it.
That's it, guys, for this one. Powerful media episode with Kent and Los. Subscribe, join the notification squad, and we will see you guys on the next episode.
See ya.